Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of bunnies. In 1807, Napoleon Bonaparte planned a rabbit hunt to entertain his troops. His men gathered thousands of rabbits, assuming they would flee when approached. Instead, the rabbits, likely domesticated and used to humans, swarmed Napoleon and his men, climbing onto their legs and even into their jackets. Napoleon and his party had to retreat in embarrassment. It's a rare moment of humor in the life of the famously serious emperor. Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing than to the construction of the Great Pyramid. Cleopatra VII, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, lived around 30 BCE. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built around 2560 BCE, making it roughly 2,500 years older than Cleopatra. In contrast, the moon landing in 1969 was only about 2,000 years after her reign. This puts Cleopatra closer in time to modern events than to the ancient wonders of her own civilization. The longest war in history lasted 335 years and had no casualties. The 335 Years' War, 1651 to 1986, was a conflict between the Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly, off the coast of England. It began during the English Civil War when the Dutch declared war on the Royalists, who were based in Scilly. However, no battles were fought, and the war was forgotten until a historian discovered it in the 1980s. A peace treaty was finally signed in 1986, making it the longest, and most peaceful, war in history. Albert Einstein was offered the presidency of Israel. In 1952, after the death of Israel's first president, Chaim Weizmann, Albert Einstein was offered the largely ceremonial role of president. The offer came from Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion, who admired Einstein's intellect and global reputation. However, Einstein, who was deeply honored, declined, citing his lack of experience in politics and his advanced age. He remained a supporter of Israel until his death in 1955. The Eiffel Tower was supposed to be temporary. The Eiffel Tower, one of the most iconic structures in the world, was built for the 1889 Exposition Universelle, World's Fair, in Paris and was intended to stand for only 20 years. Many Parisians initially hated it, calling it an eyesore. However, its value as a radio transmission tower saved it from demolition. Today, it's a beloved symbol of France and one of the most visited monuments in the world. The Vikings used sunstones to navigate. Viking sailors were skilled navigators, even in overcast or foggy conditions. They used a tool called a sunstone, a crystal that could polarize sunlight and help determine the sun's position even when it wasn't visible. This allowed them to navigate the open seas with remarkable accuracy, contributing to their success as explorers and traders.